Pardon me if I sound tired, but I've recently been sick, so I don't know if how this video is going to come out or how it's going to sound or what. Um, this is going to be sort of a brain dump, as many of my videos typically are, but this is going to be one that I just kind of want to lay it all out there. I guess recently, I've been doing a lot of thinking. And there's a lot of different facets and things that have been weighing on my mind, uh, from all kinds of areas of life and things that have gone on. So we a lot of us in the circle, kind of the circles that I've been around, or the people that I've interacted with, whether it be on Twitter or whatever. Um, a lot of these kind of people who understand how a lot of these things work more intimately than the a general boomer con or whatever. How that a lot of these systems are designed a certain way to work a certain way, and they're not designed to benefit us. We have sort of a more of an understanding of how things actually work, as opposed to what their stated goals and stated preferences are. And so we have a lot of advantage on the people who just don't know how this works at all. But also we don't really have any leverage to get ourselves sort of out of this position. We don't have any way to navigate this, as far as pushing forward and creating something that is going to be sustainable outside of the current paradigm, the current modern political framework, social framework, all of that, right? But and I find that there's a lot of people who they're almost prophets of doom in a different type of sense. That they're sort of these, they're not doomers in the traditional sense, as far as just wanting the world to end, or there are still those people, those sort of boomers, who are like, yeah, the world's gonna end, in a few years or something like that. They're no different than the climate change cultists, in my view. But there are still some of those. But there's definitely this alternative sort of doomer perspective, where yes, the world is ending, whatever. Yes, things are gonna go bad, but that's why you can build, and there's Jason from 2-Bit has been talking about civilizational primal, and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna build civilization and all this kind of stuff, and it's a good sentiment, and I do like the ideas behind it. But I do find a lot of the people involved end up being very pretentious, as far as thinking that they're like raising their self-importance, raising their own sort of stature, even though they still don't matter. Like, you still don't matter any more than I matter. Honestly, if we're being honest, here in 5 years, I probably matter more than you, because I'm gonna do better than you. I'm being brutally honest here. But a lot of these people sort of gather this self importance, and garner it. I don't know how. Like, they just sort of it is building themselves up, and like, oh, I'm gonna build. Oh, get out of my way. I'm gonna build. Blah, blah, bro, kind of thing. It's like, I just don't buy it. So that's been a little bit frustrating, seeing these kind of people do these kind of things. No, not a big deal. It's just mildly frustrating when people are acting like this, and they seem to think that they are something that they're not. But um, I guess the long and short of it is, I'm just sort of disenchanted right now. Like, a lot of the there's not anybody who seems to be on my side, as far as, I mean, there is, but there isn't. It's hard to explain, because I do feel like there are a lot of people who I could align with and build alliances with very easily. But also I don't, and it's, I'm not gonna say anything stupid like, oh, I feel politically homeless, no, that's retarded, right? I'm not gonna buy into that kind of stuff, right? That's not what I'm saying though. What I'm saying is like, it does feel kind of at all, everything feels at odds, as far as, um I don't really feel like I have any true allies as far as, there's like kind of like libertarians over here doing their thing, thinking that they're gonna somehow create some sort of libertarian society. You got the regular conservative bros or whatever here. Yeah, I'm all, we're voting for Trump and everything. Yeah, that's fine. I probably will too. That's fine. That's what I expect. To do anyway. And we'll see what happens from there. If that's allowed to happen, if anything comes of it, it would be fun. That's I'm okay with that. I'm not necessarily against it, but like, yeah, like he's gonna save everything. Like, maybe not, probably not. There's a lot of question marks there, I guess. And then there's like sort of these new right guys or whatever, the oh yeah, Christian nationalism, whatever, and I sympathize with a lot of the ideas. I would want my government run like in line with what I believe. But also then there's, sort of the dissident right kind of people who are like, yeah, none of this ever works, nothing's all the whole system hates you, and so therefore it's never going to work for you, so like, kind of why bother with that system. And basically you have to have some way to dismantle, or like, it's almost like a leftist thing too, in some ways, of like, well, we need to dismantle the system to then create a new system or whatever. I'm kind of becoming disillusioned with all of these kind of, because none of these seem to have sort of any end game, and there seem to be no allies, because no one wants to do the things that would probably actually need to be done to build a civilization or whatever. It's all talk. It's all kind of like some kind of, and some of they may end up having solutions, but what their solutions are going to be like multi-level marketing schemes with garbage that they think that they can sell you, or fairy dust programs and stuff like this. I'm disillusioned with all of that. I'm completely disillusioned with all of these kind of sort of faux fixes for the actual issues at hand. I'm really looking for something that actually is going to, I have a family. I have two small kids, and I have, my wife, and I want to have a better future for them. That's the key point here. And if you're not going to actually try to contribute to that, I really don't know how useful this kind of stuff is, the more that I'm just like looking at it. And it's an unfortunate thing that I've just kind of been, I kind of got pulled into it. It's like, hey, I want to care, and I want to see, some of these ideas are very interesting. The idea of friend and enemy, patronage, all these kind of political tools and ideas and things are very interesting to me. But none of that matters if there's nothing that's going to be directly applicable, that's going to net my family's, and preferably it's going to be like reciprocal. Like, if someone is here contributing to help my family in a situation be better, then also I'm in turn reciprocating and helping their family get better, and that just becomes a big spiral for good, I guess. And that's something that I find isn't really capable of happening. I understand there is benefits. Excuse me. I said, I knew I wouldn't get through this without coughing, because I've been coughing my head off for the past several days. But I knew there wasn't going to be any direct solution, like as far as just something that I could do on my own. This is going to take a collective effort. As much as these people who are telling me, yeah, you just got to start building, bro, and stuff like this, and all kinds of crazy like suggestions as far as it goes. Like, yeah, you've got to start building. Like, no, this is going to have to be like, this is what's going to have to be the tangible solution. We are going to have to, like, and if you anybody listening who is sort of politically aligned with me, um we need to like party up. We need to talk about this, because these need to be things that are actually tangible, that need to be done, because we need to essentially find somewhere that we can build our own communities. Find somewhere that we can build our own communities. Actually build that community. And you don't have to necessarily just directly build the houses. You need to at least be able to pay for. We need to be able to fund things, and part of that requires pooling money, and that's not something that a lot of people like to do. But that is going to be what that kind of effort is going to have to be. And where am I getting these ideas? Well, obviously I'm getting it from the immigrants that came across here, in Ellis Island and stuff like that. Like, so a lot of these communities, the Irish, the Italians, and even Jewish people, like, all had to kind of pool their resources together to build something. They would build their own towns. They would build their own houses. They would build their own shoe shop and all this kind of stuff. They would build all this kind of stuff, and they would do it by pooling their resources together. Once they got to a certain point, like, hey, like, okay, we have enough now. Let's pool it all together. Let's build this thing that we wanted to do, and it was a community project. But that needs to be more of that needs to be more of the focus, instead of all of this craziness of yeah, bro, I'm just gonna build, bro, and get out of my way, I'm gonna build, bro, and things like this. Like, you're not him, bro. You're not. I'm sorry, you are not that guy. You're just not. I'm sorry. Like, stop acting like it. Just stop. It's cringe. It's stupid. Get out of the way, like, of the people who are actually going to build, I guess. Like, and that's going to be not just one person. Oh, bro, I'm just one person. I can build. No, and a lot of these people. I guess this is a side rant too. A lot of the optimistic people too are secret pessimists, or something like that. Like, oh yeah, like, this sucks, but but we're just, oh, my, I'm better, and I'm gonna work harder, and, oh, bro, we need to just work 1,000 hours, and I'm used to working 1,000 hours, bro, because I do that all the time. It's like, no, this shouldn't be the standard. This shouldn't be the reasoning, the logic. No, no, you shouldn't have to. Nobody should have to sit here and, like, oh, yeah, work 1,000 hours, like, and quit complaining about, like, no, I will complain as much as well please, and I'll I don't care what you think. I don't care, your perception of it, anything. I just don't care. This is fun. This is a fundamentally broken system that everyone has been lied to, and all the people that are coming up in this system have been lied to, and they've been cheated throughout this whole system, because they deserve better. And I don't care how you feel about it. That's the truth, and I will die on that hill, because it is wrong. What's going on currently. Whether you think, oh, mo whiny babies, they gotta work harder, like, they shouldn't be complaining about. I don't care. Like, this is why so many people who you think, like, man, like maybe they used to be right wing or something like that. This is why they become left wing, because you idiots, you chuds, who just don't understand. Like you soy jacks, like basically, like you're the different kind of soy jacks. You're the other kind of soy jack where like he's not working, he's not working. Like that's your soy jack right there. You're like he's not. Do some kind of, you try to act like a Chad. He ain't working. Something, I don't know. It's stupid. You're stupid for acting that way about it, and it's just stupid because there's no reasoning behind why that these people having these valid complaints and valid criticisms of a broken system that has brought them to this point, and laying that at the system's feet, and then just coming to a different conclusion to say, hey, well, this system didn't work for me, so therefore I want to take everybody else's stuff. That's the wrong conclusion to come to, sure. But the fact that the system is broke, you can't sit here and lie to yourself and say, well, no, the system's just fine. Look, yeah, you can go back in time and buy a house 40 years ago. Yeah, no, totally fine. Yeah, you can do this, so you can rent for forever, and then you'll never be poor, right? Or whatever stupid idea that these people like want to spew is like, yeah, I mean, yes, I could live in abject poverty forever, or hey, well, you gotta work harder. Okay, well, get a trade. People promoting all that kind of stuff. A lot of people like. They're just not going to be made for the trades. Like, this is not like something that's universal, like the universality of just like trade jobs of, yeah, every like some men were designed to be scholarly or whatever. Like they that is their God-given gift. They are meant to be scholarly people or whatever. And you can hate them for that. You can hate that exists. You can it can make you feel dirty, like that those kind of people have to exist in the world, because somehow being a prole validates you, like being the proletariat, being this average man. I'm an average man. I work a mechanic job, sir. That just because that is your experience, and that you feel like that should be extrapolated to the entirety of the population, like, yeah, anybody can be a mechanic. Actually, I don't think anybody can necessarily be a mechanic. Like, being a mechanic is not an easy job. My dad is brilliant. He has to figure out all kinds of stuff, like, figuring out how to, what's going wrong with the different, tractors and stuff. So that's not something that I would say just extrapolates to the entirety of the population, and that no, we should never have no suits and ties, and none of these people should be working in the office. They should also be working with their hands, son. Work with your hands, and then you learn something, son. No, that's not how this works. Like, so I'm left at a real weird impasse. There's these kind of people who are super anti-tech, white collar job, and so they're trying to push all this kind of stuff. There's these weird bros who are saying that, like, yeah, we're gonna, civilization's gonna collapse and we're gonna rebuild it, bro. And there's that kind of stuff. There's the obviously the crazy leftists, which I never interact with, and I don't align with them at all. But then there's these other kind of different factions all waging war over here on what I would consider my side, and I don't like them all. Like, I hate them all. Like, I hate all of them. All of you suck. All of you suck, because none of you are going to want to do what is actually necessary to build that functioning new society that you so want. Because none of you are willing to give up your little pet project. This is the fundamental problem with a lot of the like rightist or whatever. None of them want to give up their little pet project. Oh, so that civilization is going to end, so I'm going to rebuild it and just buy my code for my silly food program, weight loss program or something. Then there's another faction. Hey, get in vocational school here and go become a tradesman, work in the trades, this kind of stuff. Don't go to college, don't go to college. It's terrible. There's no reason to go to college. Like, never go to college. There's that kind of faction. Then there's just the typical, yeah, we gotta elect Nikki Haley or something, like this kind of faction, like and I don't like any of them. None of you, none of you have anything that to offer that would actually benefit me or my family, and all you are is very self-serving pricks who don't have any value for anyone else. None of you care. Like, none of you want to see this actually improve or be better, because you just care about your little tiny faction. I work in trades, so obviously I want more tradespeople. With yes, maybe you want more people in the trades, so that way you get to be more lazy and still make decent money. Like, maybe that's your prerogative. I don't care. That's you. Whatever it is, you're trying to. I mean, honestly, if you're saying you make so much money, why would you want anybody else to go in the trades anyway? I mean, yes, we need it, but like, if you're so happy in the trades, I don't. Anyway, but there's these kind of people, and then there's there's all these kind of people who obviously they hate college and this kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you have to like college. I'm not saying that you have to agree that it's necessarily a worthwhile endeavor in the way that it is now. I'm just saying that if it comes down to it, and there's the opportunity for, like, I don't know, say for whatever reason my son got an athletic scholarship to college or something like that, do you think I'm really gonna sit there and like think in my head and just be like, well, he ain't gonna be no count if I send him to college? I'm gonna make him go to the vocational school and learn some electrical work and make him be an electrician. I mean, is that really going to benefit him if he's more of an intellectual, if he has like either a full ride on academics, or no, obviously I wouldn't pay for it, right? Like, I'm not necessarily just going to I'm not necessarily wanting to pay for the college. Like, I mean, that would probably be stupid, right? Generally speaking. Now, it could be a worthwhile investment if we knew what he was going for and all this kind of stuff. But there's even then, it would be something that we would have to work up toward, and we would have to save towards, and he would have to understand that it mattered, and showing that it mattered, and how much what he was doing, and he was trying to make sure he's intentional and working with him. That's something that an actual parent does, but a lot of these parents, like people, they seem like horrible parents. Like, they don't want to do anything for their kid. They don't care about their children. They don't care about the future as much as they claim that they do, and they don't actually want to build the future that they claim to actually want, because you are going to need this stuff. Like, whether you like it or not, this is going to be a hard pill for these people to swallow. It's going to be a very hard pill to swallow. That you, regardless of how you feel about college, it is never going anywhere. It is going to always exist in some form, and you're going to have to contend with it in some manner. Like, some people are going to have to go to this college, whether it's these garbage public run institutions that are getting federal funding and wasting it on all kinds of frivolous programs. That's not the issue that we're talking about, though. Like, we're talking about college, period. Like, people are saying, don't go to college, period. Don't do this, period. And it's just becoming increasingly frustrating with all these people kind of saying, like, hey, don't go to college, only become an electrician or a plumber. Like, my son might not be up for that. Like, he might not. It just might not click for him. It might not work for him. So you're going to tell him that he can't go be some kind of scholar? Like, he's saying he wants to be a scientist. Say what you will about science, like scientists or whatever. But if he wants to go become a scientist, and his only path is to go through college and actually learn this stuff and then become a scientist, and he actually does it, and he achieves it, he achieves his goals in that way. I mean, why would I sit there and dissuade that when that is a valuable pursuit? Like, some of these things, although we hate them in their modern application, they are still valuable and worthwhile pursuits. As much as you think they are stupid, like, if you like, and some of it is sort of self-intuitive, like, it is, some of it is sort of easily, like, understood. Just, hey, gravity, even if I was a dummy, I could probably, sort of calculate, hey, gravity moves like this whenever I have a ball or something like that. Like, this is how fast it falls or something like that. Because I could do that, and I could do it per how many feet that I dropped it, and calculate that value or whatever. Right? Like, there are dummy ways to solve these problems, but you're still going to have somebody who is at the forefront of this. You're still going to have people who are going to college, doing these things. You're still going to have people who are involved in making the society better. And it's going to take a lot of work from a lot of people, and it's going to take an entire community effort. It's going to take it's going to take a whole people that are going to have to come together and pull their resources, make this work in a way that works for them, and then slowly expand that to everyone around them. That's how it's going to have to work. And that's been sort of what I've been contemplating, and it's something that I think is going to be the inevitable solution for those who actually matter. But for all these other people, they're doing all these kind of grifts. So, they're saying, don't go to college, and don't do this, and buy my program, and we're gonna rebuild civilization one weird meal plan at a time, or whatever it is. Like, that, all of these sort of competing factions are pretty much worthless to me. But I definitely want people who are allied, and who I can get along with, and be able to actually build with, in my local community, like, to live around me, and be able to build an actual society that we're willing to live in. And it would be something that would be beneficial to have that kind of buy-in, because it's gonna have to take monetary and mental buy-in to achieve a lot of this stuff. So, I don't know. I'm just rambling about this kind of stuff. A lot of it was just setting me off with how there's so many different people who are in these different factions. And it kind of gets under my skin whenever they all just seem to want to, like, say one thing, like, oh, don't go to college, and dissuading people from doing things that could be beneficial to their lives, just because they have some sort of pet reason why they don't like it. Like, oh, I don't like college because college people are pricks, or something like that. It is what it is. I'm not gonna get too hung up on it. I'm just gonna actually try to find allies, and then be able to do something that will build and benefit the society that my children hopefully grow up in. It is going to be a difficult task. It is not, which is why you need a lot of people. It's not something that we're just going to happen upon one day because I'm working hard at it or something like that. It is going to take a whole set of people who are bought into the same vision, who want to see the community actually thriving, and actually want to progress towards something that, and not in the progressive sense, in the modern progressive sense, but actually make progress towards a true vision of what we want our children's future to look like. So that's all I have for this. Hopefully I made people mad. Hopefully If you're one of those type of people who I was describing, I'm sorry. You can stay mad. I just find all this kind of to be wasteful, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity to, if we can find people in our communities and that we can actually ally with. It is really hard nowadays. I find that more and more hard to, because you still have these latch on of these sort of boomer cons. You still have kind of all of these other factions that I was telling about, and it is hard to find people who actually want this thing to move forward in a decent direction. So praying that I actually find people that I can do that with, that I can actually help make this the city that I live in better, and hopefully we extrapolate that to further and further. That's all I have for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. This been Trey from Trey's Think Tank signing out.